In the pond again. That's actually my seawater swimming pool. Where I might... I don't know if it's deep enough for my tame shark. But I am going to need a bigger boat. The quote. The famous quote from Jaws. I think we're going to need a bigger boat. This is my original boat. My original, built on a raft. The original vanilla raft. And the problem with this one is it's got a build limit. You can only put so many things on the raft. I've done that. I've filled it to capacity as much as I can, which is not that great. So first of all, I built another slightly bigger ship on the raft. Which is this one. I have all my crafting stations and so on here, so it's a mobile base, effectively. But it's still a bit cramped and bijou. This is on the better raft, which is a mod. With my cooking. Oh, that's it. It's done. Cooked fish. Creatures do like fish. So it's got a cooking station there. Cooking pot. Comfortable chair. A comfortable chair there where you can sit by the fire. And it's big enough to land my Argentavis, my eagle mount up there. But usually I just land them on the midships here. Got storage there. And storage here. Smithy here. Mortars and pestle. More storage here. So it's all very compact. The textures I've used are a mixture of steampunk, which is this, the door, and the door surround, these railings, and this parquet floor, or parquetry really. That's the interior of these textures. And the wasteland, which is this sort of much more scrappy Mad Max looking stuff. And that again is the steampunk with a round window. Quite like that. Steampunk ladders. So here we are up on the stern. This is the wasteland that has that kind of grungy and scrappy, covered in spikes and barbed wire look about it. Quite belligerent looking. There's steampunk mast. There's a bit of frontier woodwork. Where you just see plain wood, that's frontier style. Which includes this decking here. It's a frontier style. There's my forge at the front here. A lot of finding forge. Some rigging and so on in the way. But it's a sailing ship. I had to create the impression of it being sail-driven. So that's what it looks like from the outside. Go into photo mode. Oh, that's me. This is quite a nice ship, though it is just a bit small. The stairs there help you board non-flying creatures, but it helps with flying creatures as well, like the Argentavis. So most of the hull texture is either wasteland style, lots of spikes and rivets and steelwork and rust. I quite like it. It's an eclectic mix. I find it quite pleasing. Stern lamp, rudder. I think I can go below the water in the photo. Yes. So you can see I've done work to the submarine hull as well. Unfortunately, this ship is almost entirely made of wood. Well, wood and stone. It looks very vaguely like the 17th century ship. I say very vaguely, because without the ability to curve things, you're not going to get the curving lines of a 17th century ship. This game's not really designed for that. Few games are. Even games like Assassin's Creed Black Flag, where you are dealing with late 17th century, early 18th century ships. You've still got to build something that's particularly accurate to the historic ships in terms of rigging and the shape, the form. But then this is a fantasy game. And here's my new ship, the one I'm still building, still working on. And it's all metal. It's a couple of days ago, I was out exploring the map in Asteros. Here we are in Asteros. If I can go to the map. It's either a huge map or it's not showing me all my explored area. I've died a lot here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that 5 deaths? I'll stop that. I'm still very new to this game. This is only my second month of playing any of ARK games. So earlier I got in a bit of a tussle with some sharks, and they quite literally started to take my ship apart. They started to eat it. And because it was largely wooden, I think there was some stone parts as well. The wooden stairs. Stone ceilings were used for decks. Wooden There's lots of wood, stone walls. So stone is the next best thing to metal, but not as good as metal. Hence I'm building this entirely metal ship. Or at least all the exposed structure is going to be metal. Or the exposed hull. And rather conveniently, behemoth gates dropped. The metal ones. You get an immense amount of not just metal, but cementing paste. I'm scrapping them. So you can see I've virtually enclosed the entire raft, apart from these outriders. It's just not got a rudder on the back. But the good thing about this is it's going to have lots of capacity for future proofing. I can put on a huge amount of machinery inside the hull, and of course all my crafting stations. But unfortunately I've still got this bit of mast here. But this is the better raft. Let's see now, go into engrams. So there's the normal raft, wooden raft. And here's the modded one, the better raft. Faster raft can reverse, increase build area and structure count. Requires 25 engram points. I think it's the same amount of fibre, wood and hide as the see now. Is it 125, 75? Yep, same amount of materials required to make it. Only you can do so much more if you compare it with my tiny little raft ship over there. That's on the better raft as well, that one. But here I'm really pushing the boat out, I might say. And if I put sails on the masts, there might be just big expanses of straw or bamboo, because that's what it looks like. Bamboo and thatch. In a Chinese style. So rigged fore and aft, so the sails are big triangular or fan shaped and go fore and aft, front to back, not side to side, like these sails. So I find the problem with these ones, well, I only put them in for cosmetic reasons to make it look like a sailing ship. But they do block the view. When you're out and about sailing around, they're in the way. See how it obstructs your view. So the task of the new ship is to increase not just the size, but the visibility ahead. I quite like the shape of this. It's quite a cozy little ship. fixed alongside this one. And of course, it is reversible, so you can fine-tune your parking. Go inside. I don't know if I did. Bed, lamps. Lamps all work. Beds works. Toilet. Little cabin here. Because I've got that access ladder, I can't often get into that little cabin. It doesn't matter. Really doesn't matter. Having an all-metal ship is definitely a bonus, an improvement. I haven't tried landing my RG on it. I haven't really got the decks ready. We'll probably land it on the foredeck. Yep, that works. It's big enough so I don't actually fall into the sea every time I dismount. So I can cram a whole host of creatures aboard. Might even look into cannons, putting ballistas aboard. Might have a ballista in the beakhead here in the front of the ship. Or perhaps up there on the foredeck. And cannons are immensely costly in terms of materials to produce. I don't know how you mount them and so on. Do they just sit on the floor? Do you have to make special ports for them to fire through, or can they fire through these windows? Can they be elevated to fire out of these windows, or not? I don't know. All things I have to look into. I'm not going to keep this ship all metal. Well, not looking metal. It's going to stay metal, but I'll put on the steampunk textures and so on as I have with my other vessels. This will probably be my cabin here. I've got an option of another cabin upstairs. Don't know if I'll keep this staircase. It's a bit fancy. But then some of these staircases don't work very well. I guess these short staircases, they're a bit funny. I might raise this deck a bit, I don't know. You'll see. It's all in building in progress. I've only been playing this game for a couple of months at most. Victor mode. I don't know if you think it's an improvement. You might not like the style. Of course, you don't need to do anything like this. It's entirely up to you. I've just got a thing about, well, particularly 17th century ships, Pirate ships and so on. Warships. Men of war. I might have to move that mast. Because I want to put a door there. But I think this should be big enough. And it should be shark proof. All metal. But then, like a lot of the ARK maps, Asteros is a huge collection of islands, many islands, and it's apparently still expanding. In fact, there have been some complaints about the Asteros map not being sufficiently complete. They should release something until it's properly finished. Now, there's my ballista, which sits in a nest of spikes, proof against even the largest, angriest dinosaur. And thanks for watching this. I hope it was interesting. Perhaps give you food for thought for boat building. Because you need something, even if you haven't got flying mounts. Something like a mobile base for exploring all these islands and peninsulas. So like it if you liked it, and thumbs up the video, and subscribe if you want to see more. I've made quite a few videos. Quite a few of them are set in and around ARK, about ARK and building in particular. Building everything from castles to boats to temples and houses. There's, particularly in Asteros, they released this texture pack with skins in the classical style. So I went to town on that, building my villa-like house here. It's more sort of Roman Baroque or sort of Victorian classical than ancient Greek. Anyway, thanks for staying this long, for joining me in this video. Again, like it if you liked it, and subscribe if you want to see more. Ta-ta for now. Cheerio.